Welcome to another edition of Green is Good, and today we're so honored to have with us Brenda Pulley. She's the Senior Vice President of Recycling for Keep America Beautiful. Welcome to Green is Good, Brenda.
Hi, John. How are you?
I am great, and we're so thankful you're on the show with us today. And this is Keep America Beautiful's first appearance on Green is Good, so thank you for coming on and sharing the Keep America Beautiful story today.
Thank you. We're delighted to be part of your show.
Hey, before we get into talking about all the great things you're doing over at Keep America Beautiful, Brenda, can you share with our listeners a little bit about your journey, how you even came here, and what brought you to Keep America Beautiful?
Sure. I started my career working for the U.S. House of Representatives. And there I worked for a member of Congress named Ike Skelton and had the opportunity in working with him, who was chair of the Energy, Environment, Small Business Committee, to start addressing recycling, waste reduction, hazardous waste, energies that were prevalent at that time in America, and how to address those and how businesses could better address the proper handling of waste reduction and recycling of materials. From there, I worked for a couple different trade associations, but all very much related in recycling. So one was the National Association of Chemical Recyclers, and so a couple different trade associations in that. And then I joined an aluminum company called Novelis, again with energy and environmental issues, very, very relevant to the business, particularly the recycling of aluminum. And then, as you can see, sort of throughout my career, there were recycling environmental type issues, and really during that journey found that there's a real opportunity to work with individuals, not just businesses, but also individuals, and encouraging them the importance of recycling and the benefit it has economic and environmentally to not only the U.S., but frankly globally.
And you joined Keep America Beautiful back in around 2010 or so?
I did.
Got it. Well, we're so thankful you're here. You have an amazing history in doing everything sustainable and green. So can you share a little bit about Keep America Beautiful today? First of all, I know you've recently launched, and I'm on your website, and for our listeners who want to follow along, Keep America Beautiful has a great website. It's www.kab.org. You launched the I Want to Be Recycled campaign. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So it's very consistent with Keep America Beautiful's mission, just so you know.
Okay.
So we are celebrating our 60th anniversary of Keep America Beautiful. We started, frankly, with litter and trying to prevent litter back in the 50s. And one of our first PSA campaigns that people will remember was an anti-litter campaign with Ironized Cody. It was our first partnership with the Ad Council. So this new partnership has allowed us the opportunity to launch a new public service ad campaign, and it is very much around recycling of material. And so
recycling, Keep America Beautiful and recycling. Talk a little bit about that key word, recycling. Why recycling? Why now?
Sure, it is, as you know, I know you operate globally, that businesses, leaders around the globe are looking differently at resources. They're looking at the global population, the growing demand on resources, and even individuals are looking how to rethink and reconsider the value of resources that we've been putting in the waste stream. And so how do we not be as wasteful, but in fact keep those resources in our economy and reusing them?
For our, it's important for our listeners to understand. And for those of you who just joined us, we've got Brenda Pulley on from Keep America Beautiful. It's KAB.org. You have a lot of resources at Keep America Beautiful, and I know before you launched your campaign, you did some research about recycling. Can you share with our listeners, what did you learn about recycling in this research and in your homework prior to this launch?
Sure. A lot of thought, a lot of work, a lot of research was put into it so that we had the right messages for that campaign. And, one of the key things that we found in the various interviews and focus groups that we did was people really do not want to be wasteful. but they need to be, encouraged to recycle with the right message, which I'll get to, and also need to have recycling information. John, I know how important this is, but they need to have readily, easily accessible recycling information on what, when, where, and to recycle. So the first one is, what's the right message of people? And they felt like it was a burden to recycle. But one thing that we discovered was when they realized they could be empowered to make something not be wasted, but in fact give it a new life, the world has an afterlife, keep it in that economy, and that they were really inspired. So it went from an obligation, literally, the recycling kind of concept, to an inspiration to recycle when they realized they had that power. And that was reassuring them of what materials could become.
That's so interesting. So what you're saying, Brenda, is you got to encourage people to recycle, and then you have to make it easy and accessible.
You really do.
That's interesting.
So it's that convenience of recycling. So having that bin, whether it's at home or at work or out and about or at the school, having those bins readily available, having the information on what, where, how. But then the other thing is that there's underlying that we're always encouraging people and reassuring them of what things can become. So whether it is, that beverage bottle that now can become a pair of jeans,
right?
Or that shampoo bottle that can become a park bench, or the juice bottle, I should say, that become a park bench. Those kinds of things, or can to can, they need to be reassured of that.
That's so good. So now that you've launched a campaign, what are you learning? What's coming back to you as you watch the campaign evolve? What are you learning from the consumers as you start the whole interaction and rollout and scaling of the campaign?
Well, it's still relatively early in the campaign. So we really are working with our partners, both Ad Council and its media partners, and we're working with our partners, both KAB affiliates, all our recycling partners, and many cities and counties across the country. So working to get it really activated. But I will tell you, it is great when you show the ad to people and see their response to it. I mean, we're getting really good feedback about the ad, and that it's clicking on, it's really registering or resonating, I should say, with people about, what materials can become.
And that's so interesting. And for our listeners out there, again, I'm on your great website, on Keep America Beautiful's website. It's www.kb.org. And I know this is a new campaign, and I've been a huge fan and follower of your work for a long time, and I remember that initial campaign. I'm old enough to remember the initial campaign that you had and grew up with that on television. I know you've recently launched other campaigns. So besides I Want to Be Recycled, you've launched now Recycling at Work. Can you share a little bit about that? Because we all go to work every day, and this is another great platform you've put out there. So please explain to our listeners what that means.
Sure. When you look at EPA data, we know that up to 45% of municipal solid waste is actually generated in workplace settings.
Wow.
So what we decided to do last year as part of America Recycles Day, and frankly partnering with Alcoa Foundation, was, look where there are opportunities that we can help make a difference. And so it just seemed to be one of those opportunities when you think about recycling at work. And particularly, many larger businesses have started to look as part of their sustainability platform to put in recycling. A lot of folks have been doing it in manufacturing for a lot of reasons, for economic reasons, et cetera. But frankly, in the workplace settings, particularly office-type workplace settings, we found there is not as much recycling that's offered, particularly in small and medium. And so this program is really designed to make it very easy for any size business. There's a 10-step action plan, any size business, to look at, do waste characterization, identify locations in their office settings to put recycling bins. And then, so not only do we offer easy steps on how to do that, one of the key things that we want to do to set ourselves apart is really identify opportunities to engage and inform employees on how to recycle. Because at the end of the day, it's very, it's you want to engage individuals in the workplace so that they will recycle. We are hopeful and actually will be studying if there is a spillover effect and it influences more recycling at the home. But we are looking at to organize activities on how to hold an America Recycles Day event in a workplace setting, or how to hold an Earth Day event in the workplace setting. And then we'll be sharing those kinds of activities with our pledge partners. And then one more, one benefit that we're looking to provide more, but there's exclusive offers with a couple recycling bin providers that once you become a pledge partner, you get, 15% reduction on office-type recycling bins. So that's the array of benefits, I'll say, and resources that we're providing. We know there's much more, particularly when it comes to recognition and then reporting on those successes, reporting on the amount of material that's recycled, or frankly, sort of phase 2 that we're looking at.
That's so interesting. And for our listeners out there, what's so eye-opening about what you do, Brenda, is like I'm on your website now and I'm looking at some of your featured videos. You have chapters all around the country. So it's just not Keep America Beautiful and you have one office in D.C. running a national program. You have chapters such as, I'm looking at just one featured video now, Keep Las Vegas Beautiful, and then Keep Atlanta Beautiful. I know you have Keep California Beautiful. You have amazing chapters across the country that are always great ambassadors for the work that you do and are continuing to engage and, get more people involved with all the great recycling programs you have across America. How many chapters do you have now?
So we have over 600 what we call affiliates.
Wow.
And over 1,000 partners that are
amazing.
Affiliates and other, recycling partners and others that frankly are, as you just indicated, embedded in communities across the country. And that really gets to the core of Keep America Beautiful's mission, John.
Wow.
It's about engaging individuals to be part of their community and working with others and to help improve the public spaces in that community. So whether it's, picking up litter, converting a vacant lot, planting trees, planting gardens, or, instilling more waste reduction recycling activities, that is what we do. And again, as I said, it's about being part of that community and engaging individuals to be part of that community and to take greater pride in their community.
For our listeners who just joined us, we've got Brenda Pulley. She's the Senior Vice President of Recycling for Keep America Beautiful. It's www.kab.org. I'm going to take us in a different direction now, Brenda.
Sure.
Recycling is so important, but as you know, and as I've learned just in recent years, it's a fascinating social study in terms of demographics as to who's really into it and who's really not. And I know what's near and dear to your heart and where a lot of your focus has been in recent times at KAB has been in America's youth and the colleges and the young people that are on fire for the sustainability revolution and for recycling. Can you share how you've created these unique programs across America to engage America's youth and what you've learned from that whole process?
Sure. So as you indicate, we've done some, research, some surveys, national surveys, those kinds of things. And, there's that 65% of individuals across the country that we call are sort of the sometimes or the sporadic recyclers, that all of our programs are really designed to target to help them become the everyday recycler. Not
right.
whether they're passionate or not. We want it just to become second nature for them to do.
Yeah.
And clearly, audiences that come top of mind to get to are, that K through 12, when children are young and very open to these kinds of messages, and really sharing with them the importance of recycling and working to help make it part, a habit that they'll just grow up with and, frankly, be ambassadors for others to recycle, whether it's their parents or their neighbors, that kind of thing. So we do. We have a K through 12. Again, it's kind of based on behavioral change, some of those different attributes that you can employ, and that is recycling competition. And so, we have a fun, friendly competition that's designed. It's a 4-week to really engage and activate students to recycle more in the school. And, during that process, the idea is there are some teaching moments to make that happen. And sometimes teaching very related to recycling, but sometimes teaching to show how recycling has economic contributions, or there's some scientific learnings. But that is really one of our key programs. We augment that with some other activities and lesson plans plans and waste in place programs that we have. But the core is called Recyclable, and it is really designed to engage students to recycle more. Again, fun, friendly way to do it.
And also, don't you also have college competitions every year also with regards to recycling?
We do. In fact, we modeled a lot of Recyclable off that program. So we partner with what's called Mania and their board of directors and really work with them to grow that program. It's been around 15 plus years.
Wow.
But it is. I know. It's a great program. It's, in fact, I was just with the one of the two individuals from Ohio, actually from two different schools, by the way, came up with the idea. They wanted to create a little competition, and it's grown from 2 schools 15 years ago to over 600 colleges and universities today that participate. That's an 8-week program, but it's really designed not to do just even benchmarking for all those recycling coordinators on campuses, but exactly like Recyclable. It's really designed to engage both the staff and the faculty, but particularly the students in recycling and the importance of recycling.
Brenda, I know Keep America Beautiful continues to do their great and important work, not only because people across America donate to your wonderful organization, but there are large corporations that are great supporters that continue to ensure that we're going to have a better environment in the years ahead. And I know there's great companies like Alcoa, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Snapple Group, and others that are supporting the great people at Keep America Beautiful. Can you share, we have about 3 minutes left, can you share how their support equates into more action, more activity, more, as you say, convenience and accessibility to recycling, and what that means for your organization?
Absolutely. I mean, these are companies that truly, have sustainability as part of their core operations, and we are, it's an honor to be able to partner with them to help design programs that can truly help make a difference. Mm-hmm. And so, the leadership of Alcoa Foundation, Unilever, Waste Management, Nestle Waters North America, Anheuser-Busch, American Chemistry Council, those are just a few of the partners that we work with, Coca-Cola as well, to really identify opportunities. We're working in public-private partnerships and actually partnering with government. Many of our affiliates, over 50%, are either part of government, housed in government, work with government. I mean, so we really are about creating public-private partnerships to help make and improve communities.
And what does that mean in terms of extra bins and more bins around America so people have more accessibility to drop off their, as you said, bottles or cans or whatever they want to recycle?
Sure. So, we know there are studies that 60 or 70% of the public have access to curbside recycling.
Right.
Now, that's a whole different story of how many participate. But, curbside has made incredible progress. 1970s, I think it was, there were no curbside programs. Now EPA estimates over 9,000 curbside programs. Can we do more to encourage, households to recycle more? Absolutely. But when it comes to public space recycling, as we talked earlier about office or at school, we know there just are not enough bins, recycling bins, that convenience factor out there. So we do partner with folks like Coca-Cola and Alcoa and Dr. Pepper, Snapple, and Pepsi in the past to really work. And, this is a big effort, right? We know that there are about 10% of where there need to be public space recycling bins that are out there. And it's about getting the right bins, putting them in the right places, making sure the signage is right so that people in that split-second decision when they're on the go can have that recycling bin there and make sure they recycle something versus putting in the trash. And big program, lots of effort, looking at best practices. We have a best practice manual, the top 10 tips on our website.
Awesome.
So I encourage people, if they have an interest in that, to go there. But there's much opportunity in this space to improve recycling on the go.
And that's just a perfect way to wrap it up. And for our listeners out there that want to do more, or want to donate to Keep America Beautiful in their important work, or want to learn how they could recycle more in their own community, there's 3 websites I want to point out to you. It's KAB.org. It's also AmericaRecyclesDay.org, or IWannaBeRecycled.org. All great websites, all important, and it gives us all access to the great work that Keep America Beautiful is doing. Brenda Pulley, you are helping to keep America beautiful and truly living proof that green is good.